What's going on, traders? Oh my god. Looks like it's been a bad 2 hours, I can say that at least. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look here. Market keeps dropping and doesn't want to seem like it wants to slow down by all means here. Q's dropping fast. Let's talk about Nvidia dropping fast here. Tech trades coming off the table here as you're starting to see some of the turnaround here. I'm even like a little bit anxious to take some profits here. It's that type of day, guys. We'll see what happens. Man, I'm really starting to see a little bit of a takedown. I saw a little bit of a pullback earlier, but definitely Q's coming down pretty fast here. Of course, one of the things they did is they did a little bit of a gap up move. So that kind of is a little bit of a harder thing to get through. And you can see the SPY pulling right back towards 452. Doesn't mean it's going to really break. No, but I mean, it was just up there towards kind of like 459s. I mean, didn't expect to see that kind of takedown there. And what's really getting hit here? Well, let's take a look there, right? That's what's more important. Real estate really getting smacked today. Utilities getting smacked. Technology getting smacked. So, of course, the bigger boys taking a little bit of a downturn today. Microsoft down 6% now. I talked about this very early on in the market day on live trading. I said, if Microsoft keeps coming down, we are going to leak here. And it looks like exactly what we're seeing there. Of course, Microsoft as the big boys leading the downside action here, down about 2.8%. So looks like Meta also getting that downturn also today. So it was getting the lift, now right back down to 313. It was up there to 330 in the pre-market. This actually doesn't look like too bad of a kind of pullback to kind of look for, maybe below 310s. Seems like a good spot. Micron, guys. I was able to take the full profits out on Micron today. Had to take that money and run. Can't be mad about this one. This one was a quick, nice 8% winner. Could I kept holding on to this position? Yes. But to tell you the truth, I had to take that money and run. Not a bad trade at all on, of course, Micron. We're going to leave that one to keep going. But to tell you the truth, I think this could pull back right back towards the 70s and the 68. So I said, you know what? Really easy money here. I'm going to take it off the table. Nice win there in Micron. And then also taking some profits in different trades today. Let's get to some of that action. Then we'll go more and more into the sector and the industry analysis here. Let's get through some of my other trades here. I did take some profits in, of course, Hyatt as that goes higher today, and that's starting to pull back now with the market. But this was up there towards 124, so I took a good amount off this. So nice little profit here in Hyatt, up about 2%. But when I took profits, I was closer up towards 3%. We'll see if this can continue to run and keep pushing through the 124s. But the market pulling back is telling me that it might not be able to get that next move. So really good day there for Hyatt. Can hold the remainder off the 120.08 break even, and then look for it to continue working higher. Ross Stores taking some profits today as we got up there closer towards the 115. And so I've been looking for the 115 run, got up there to 115.05, and boy, did it pull back really quickly here. So was able to take some profits in Ross today. I took profits on Ross at 114.47 as it started to come back down. But not mad about this position at all. I might just sell it all here because it doesn't look good. Doesn't look like we want to continue running. But right now I'm in at 110.97. So in a pretty good spot here. So let's see if this can continue to get maybe a little bit of recovery towards the close. I did have to take some profits as it looked like it was coming down. PXD turning around a little bit today, got up there to the 224s. This has been making a big move here. So I had to take some profits also on this. I took half profits on PXD just to make sure, we paid ourselves, and you can't be mad about that, right? We'll see what happens here on PXD if it can keep going through the 224s. But this hasn't been a bad move since 217.95. I could see this cutting right back down to 217. So with that being said, had to pay myself a little bit and won't let myself lose on this position. We'll need to cut it if it comes right back down below the 218s. All right, we'll see what happens there on PXD. That's the swing trade action. I did get caught in some of the trades out there today. I'll give you guys my 3 losers, but I can at least tell you one thing is that even just one of my gainers, especially Hyatt, uh, Micron, and Ross Stores, can cover all these losses on these 3 names. So let's talk about that. One of them being American Airlines as it went down through the 1650s today. Love not giving the best report also in the industry. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to get rid of American here. Doesn't look like it wants to hold on. Got cut out there through the 1650 and glad I respected it because it could have gone lower towards like 1620s. So just cut out there for about like a 20-cent loss. Can't be mad about that one. Let's keep going. CENX, just a tiny, tiny loss, almost a break-even type of trade. I'd call this more break-even. It's starting to come down there through the 9s. I was looking for a push there through 950s and 10s. It didn't want to do it today. I'm not sticking around. I got too many winners to stick around. And then there was one last one that was tech, and tech was going with kind of metals and minerals. I wanted to see it hold 42 today. It cut down through that 42. So I got out of this one right there at 41.93s. So not going to stick around on this tech move. I do like the daily still, but it started coming down way too much today. And that cut of 42 scared me out of tech. So there you guys see it. We'll see what happens to this metal and mineral stocks. Let's get back to the market. And of course, catch some comments from you guys in the chat. How we doing out there, traders? It's been a tough day. Every sector in the red and everything down from the open. So those that thought that the DIA was going to, or the Dow was going to get the 14th day, well, no. Come on, guys. It couldn't be that easy, right? Well, there you guys see it. The 13 days trend comes to an end on the pullback of the Dow today, snapping the historic winning streak. We'll see what else is going on out there. Down, baby, down, says John B. It seems like it. I love the headlines. Will the bubble burst? Yeah, it could go. I mean, the truth is that what we need to be watching, and I think it's very important, is how does the AI valuations play in to the revenues, right? Does that actually show up on the revenues? Microsoft showed me a little bit more and more that, hey, this AI, it could be more hype than actually revenue driving. And so that's where I think we need to be careful because this bubble could go pop. And we've had a great first half of the year. Does it mean that we're going to get a great second half of the year? No, we could see some chop. And does it mean that Microsoft is coming back down there towards 230s? I don't think that either. I think it makes sense for it to get a little bit of a pullback, maybe towards the 320s, 310s, and then start working its way back. So we'll see if we get Microsoft to finally catch a bounce. But big leak today off that 340. All right, catching up in the chat. What's going on out there? I see a lot of mentions in the chat. Is it considered a marriage if I don't sell my longs today? No. It doesn't mean that you're in a marriage, but you always got to know where your outs are, Raz. That's one thing I would say. Can you take a look at the VIX, says Bravo. I don't have the classic VIX here, but I can take a look at VIXY. And you can see that pop, right? Short term, getting that little bit of a pop. And now we need to see if this can keep going. Of course, this is kind of more of a volatility expansion move. Now we need to see if there's going to be kind of more of that day 2 type of move. But are we getting a lift in the VIX? Yes, we're starting to get a little bit of a push. Is this common to go through periods? Yeah. Now the only question is, will we actually start seeing some downside continuation, right? Will we see kind of some overnight continuation to the downside where we break 374 and 372? That's when we start to really let go. But definitely not the best day here as you're starting to see a turnaround. Tesla also turning right back around. It was trying to get back above the 270s. Now this looks like it actually wants to go lower. So be careful out there in the auto industry as Tesla goes lower. That's when I'll be starting to look for another short on maybe like Ford. Maybe another short on Ford right back down there towards the 13s. This is why I don't like Ford and GM here. I know that a lot of people do like them, but there could be strikes on the horizon. Tesla starts to downtrend, well, be careful with those other stocks. And that also will affect kind of even like an XPEV type of trade. That's pulling back today. So going to look for a little bit further pullback in these China autos before I just start jumping in. Marshall, you want to talk Intel? Yeah, why not, right? Earnings tonight. We'll definitely get into it, Marshall. We'll get into it when we cover our earnings for tonight, but stick around. I got you. I'll definitely talk some Intel. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is going on. Raz says he's just engaged to the stocks. Don't worry, man. You can always get disengaged. Let's keep going into the other action in the market. Communication services leading the upside move, but am I going to call the upside move? It's still red, right? I mean, there's not much here that was making a lift today. AT&T right back down. T-Mobile right back down. Verizon right back down. Not looking good in this space. Looking like it wants to come right back down towards that 32. At least Verizon and AT&T, I could see it coming right back and filling this gap right back down to 1350s. All right, defensive area. Where are we going to play the defensive names? Where are we going to go to value? No, we went on a full sell-off or maybe some profit taking here. As you guys can see, some defensive names really taking a hit there. And all sectors pretty much down from the open. There's some that are hurt more and more. Household personal products, PG, taking a big hit today. UL, Colgate Palmolive, taking a big pullback. EL, Estee Lauder. It just doesn't seem like any of these had a good day today. Clorox, right back down to the 150s. Not stocks that I want by any means necessary. And one thing that I can see on this Clorox chart is a pretty significant head and shoulders pattern, right? I mean, you guys can see it here. I would call this the neckline break. And as we start to break that neckline, you could see some continued downside action. You guys can see it here. Left shoulder, right shoulder. And you got your head over here. This doesn't look too bad there as a head and shoulders turnaround to the downside. And remember, when you're looking at head and shoulders, you want to see them at the top of the range. Inverse head and shoulders at the bottom of the range. This shows me that this could be a little bit of a turnaround, especially that cut down through the 155, now going through 150. We'll see if this can keep coming down. All right, we're talking household and personal products. Confectioners also taking a hit today. Grocery stores even pulling back. Even Pepsi and Coke that were doing well. Coke just had a really strong day yesterday and now starting to pull back. We'll look to see if it gets to bounce tomorrow. But for right now, on the pullback. Packaged foods also down big. It just doesn't seem like any of this area was hot today. Healthcare also big turnaround there. You got to be careful in stocks here because definitely we've been seeing some quick turnarounds. Stocks like DHR, stocks like TMO, we're just getting the lift. And as quickly as they get the lift, they get put right back down. All right, let's keep going. Basic materials also pulling back. So even steel names not wanting to go here as X pulls back right below 25. And if you look here, there's no industry, at least from the open green. Maybe you could take a look at this paper products, but not much here in basic materials today. Leading to the downside, real estate really taking a smack there. You see stocks like PLD coming right back down. American Tower did have earnings today. That's looking like it's trying to hold on with their earnings, but not the strongest stock either. Technology definitely pulling back. We can take a look at some of this area. And I saw solar pulling back as I saw what? Energy also down today. And so First Solar, I was talking about keeping an eye on this stock for a 200 move. It's still hanging around, but energy just doesn't want to break down here or break out. So we'll see what happens here on Gush. Will we keep riding higher or will we take a little bit of a pullback? Let's keep going, guys. It's about 3:49. Got about 10 minutes left. And boy, do the 30 minutes go fast when you're moving right back through the stocks. So technology names, of course, are going to continue to watch also some software application names to see if these can stay hot. CRM right back down. So this doesn't look good either. I'm starting to see more head and shoulders show up here. I can see the head and shoulders pattern here, but I could also see this kind of trend line outlook, right? So let's see if it can hold support. If it starts to break that 223 level, yeah, you could come right back into the gap zone. We'll see what happens there. Into it, also hanging on by a thread, but I don't think that one's going to be able to hold on for too much longer. Let's go to Intel. Of course, they report earnings tonight. Will this be the savior stock, right? Well, I'm going to be watching this report for sure. Do I think that I'm leaning to the upside? Yes. But am I going to take a position to the upside right now and wait for the earnings? No, I won't take a position right now just because I feel like it's too much risk here at the 34.50s. It could easily be back down at 33s or 32s, or it could be up there towards 37. It gets up there to 36, 37. This is going to be looking really good for a breakout. Do I like this stock? Yes, but we'll have to see if Intel can make that next step up. Of course, I started liking this stock after flipping, after being very bearish this stock for a dying brand, but mentions with NVIDIA really woken it. And now one of the things that I will be taking a look at, can it stay getting the lift, right? Can it stay pushing higher? I don't want this ever coming back down through that 32 if we're going to get a real type of story run. All right, those shoulders just aren't struggling. Yeah, I mean, we got to keep an eye on it. Why is the market red all of a sudden? Any news? Well, the market loves to do a couple of things, right? And I feel like we need to always think about this as traders. The market loves to do what? It loves to hurt the most. And I feel like the most started really leaning to the bull side. You guys can see it in our bull market show this morning on PreMarket Prep. It seemed like everybody's just starting to lean to the bull side. And when everybody plays one side, what do we usually end up getting? Well, we get the pullback. Today, that seemed to happen. So the psychology of traders is sometimes more important than even the fundamentals and the technicals that you see today. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is going on. 10 more candles to the close. All Crows needs is one good one. Hey, I hope you get it, my friend. I hope you get it. I thought markets only go up. Well, no, the truth is they can go down. And yeah, that's what it pretty much is. And I think that sometimes we got to be thinking about also where the psychology of the majority of traders is. I think about this all the time because sometimes being with the herd can help you. And then sometimes being with the herd can hurt you. I think today was one of those days where being with the herd hurt you. But of course, this could always come back and forth. Tomorrow, trading with the herd and trading to the upside might be the better trade. Always keep that in mind. All right, let's keep going. We'll get to some other action there. Raz, I'm glad someone is. My face right now is literally this emoji. Hey, hang in there, Raz. We're all not, we're all going to go through the ups and downs. We just need to go ahead and do what? Always focus on risk to return. It's about making 1,000 trades, not one or two. The way that I think about it is I'm going to make 1,000 trades. I need to go ahead and do what? Have discipline, focus on the risk to return, and always cutting my losses small. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other action in the market. Let's go to financial services. Is that starting to pull back? And this is an area that I could see pull back, right? JPM starting to really break. And what do I see there? I see a triple top here at the 158. So could we play this to the downside? Yeah, why not, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm actually thinking about playing some Goldman Sachs here off of kind of the 358. But I want to see a little bit of a bounce here towards the close. So instead of jumping on right now at 355 and then watching this come right back lower, I want to be a little bit careful here on Goldman Sachs. I want to see a little bit of a pop here towards the close, maybe even a little bit of a lift tomorrow. 357 is going to be the level that I don't want to see this stock recover if I want to get short tomorrow. So if it can get into that space, 356, 356.50s, it'll be looking good to short off the top of it, off 360. We'll see what happens there in Goldman Sachs. All right, let's keep going, team. Financial services definitely taking a huge pullback today. We'll look to see stocks like Bank of America, the KRE coming down. You know what I mean? These are the types of stocks that we could see come right back down after that recent run. JPM had been so strong and now starting to get the cut down. We'll see what happens there. And for JPM, is this going to be a complete break? No, I could see this coming towards like 154, 150, and then maybe catching a little bit of the bounce. We'll see what happens there. All right, let's keep going. Out of financial services, I did see some mention in the chat out there for the XOM. We could take a look at the XOM. XOM went up there today towards kind of the 107s and then pulled right back. And so I would stick with the hourly chart here on XOM. I've talked about that this morning, how I wanted to see pullbacks to 105 hold, and then it really start to get the move. It got up there to the 107. I'm really looking for a push above 108s. If you can push above 108s, you can really start breaking out of this bearish pattern. But if we hold here and we take down back through 104s, that's where you got to be careful with Exxon Mobil now. I wouldn't want to see it break 104.35s. And really, I want to see it start holding 105 pullbacks and close towards 106 and above. We'll see what happens there on Exxon Mobil. All right, let's keep going. Can you take a look at TNX? Sounds like it's going to make a new yearly high. That's TNX. Let's go to it. Is that TNXP? Which one are you taking a look at? All right, give me the other ticker, Bravo. I don't think I might have missed one of those there. Do you think Carvana is due for another squeeze? And I mean, I feel like this has already gone a pretty significant amount. Let's just be honest, guys. This has come from about at the beginning of the year around $5 all the way up to 56. That was about 1,000% run. So it's okay to get this kind of closing gap move where you just close the gap. Does this mean it's completely broken? No, I would look to see if the next layer starts to hold as support. That's towards 36.55. So maybe we can get a bounce off that 39.85 going back towards 45. So we'll see what happens there. Next layer after this 39.80 area is that 36.50 area. We'll see what happens there in Carvana. Affirmed looked a little bit better today, and look at the turnaround that you saw there. It was looking good through this 18 towards the 19s and then quickly right back down. So I think that you're really starting to see some of these momentum names give up some of their momentum. So just keep an eye on it, right? It's okay to get 1 day red. Will we get 2, 3, 4 days red? Things to keep an eye out for. All right, we'll see what else is going on out there. It's about 3:57. How did Kathy do today? Definitely taking a hit. And look at all the stocks that are in the red there today. Only about like 1 or 2 stocks in the green. And from the open, I don't think there's anything. Is there? There's one. Maybe Zoom from the open. Not looking too bad. But other than that, everything else red here from the open. We'll see what happens in Zoom and ARKK. All right, Affirm is on my no trade list, says Crassy, and maybe it's best, right? I mean, it moves fast. Not something that I really like. Wally, I'll take a look at one more for you guys, and then I'm going to start wrapping it up, team. We're already getting there towards 4 p.m. This is going to be LVS. LVS looking like it's pulling back today. We'll see what happens in the resorts and casinos. This one doesn't look too bad, but it also getting a little bit toppy here. And I think that one thing that we need to keep in mind, will these stocks start to turn around? This started moving with Win, right? So keep your eyes on both of these for the leaders. But MGM, as of late, has really started to take the leap up. We'll look to see if this can keep pushing. Penn started to get moving here. And you can see it. It's right back into the red. Caesars was one that I started liking, but this one, right back to the red. So you got to be careful there with that LVS. Of course, if we're not going to go into recession, maybe this can continue to lift. And one thing to keep in mind, LVS has a lot of exposure to what? Has a lot of exposure to Macau, right? And if China releases economic boost, and we're still waiting to hear for that this week, that should come out tomorrow. And so we should be looking forward to seeing what happens and China names tomorrow. If we get that economic boost, maybe this LVS gets another boost. So we'll see what happens here. I think you got to look out for what could be coming from China, of course, when you're talking LVS. It's not Las Vegas Sands anymore. It should be Macau Sands, because let's just be honest, this isn't a Las Vegas stock anymore. Even though you might think it is, it really isn't. Just look underneath the hood. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me today. Mystery Man says, I got my butt kicked this past couple of days, and it's going to happen, man. It happens to me all the time, man. And I think that one of the things in trading that we always want to keep in mind is, like I talk about it, we're trying to do 1,000 trades versus 5 trade. Keep the sizing small so that you can play a lot. That's the way I like to go about the market. I don't want to just take 2 or 3 positions and expect them to always end up into the green. I want to take multiple positions like I do in my swing trading game. You guys see it. I went from 8 to 4 today. And what did I do? I cut 3 losers, took 1 major winner completely off. And that does what? That covers all those 3 losers and then some. That's what it's all about, of course, on Start Swing Trade. I'll see you guys bright and early on Pre-Market Prep. I hope you guys enjoy this show right here, Start Swing Trade, where we talk about the swing trading action. We take a look at some setups for the next day, and who knows, maybe making some live trades as we speak. Micron was actually taken right here on this show. Hope you guys appreciate that. Hit the thumbs up. I'll see you next time, and keep pushing forward. We'll see what else is in the market. And it's never one way, right? We always got to be thinking about what? The current environment. What's the psychology for that? And remember, to me, psychology rules the market more than fundamentals, more than technicals, even more than story. It's all comes down to a lot of the times current environment and how quickly that can change. We'll see you next time, guys. Smash the like and keep it going right here, always on Benzinga.